You rocking with your boy Czar, all rights reserved, Commenter Nation, greatest nation since United Nations, stand up. Let me quickly get into this. And then I'll let you guys go. Happy 4th of July, Commenter Nation, greatest nation since United Nations, greatest nation since United Nation, greatest nation since United Nation. You know how we rock. Let me get into this. Now, the power of vulnerability. Someone had to scope out the power of vulnerability and when he'd be vulnerable. Now remember, this concept was what was admittedly the reason people made for why something like this occurred. Changing of the guard, changing of the way he guarded himself, having no guards, no security. Isn't that what the uncle was there for? Was he there for that? Now, here's what I'm trying to say. This is also breaking the habit. So this is a superstar whose habits are being to himself, of going out, enjoying the world around him, having fun, being playful with people, changing his life. The power of vulnerability when breaking your habit. You get it? It's how vulnerable you are when you're in a mental state of change. Did someone enact on this, even in the midst of guarding him? Now, we've seen this time and time again. There were people who came out, Adam 22, and I'm not even going to cough it out, who came out, and what you were saying was that he was in a prison situation, and he kind of gave you the motivation to not only be his manager, but know you can do it. So in a way, he encouraged you. So I respect that. I can respect that. But here's something I just don't understand. If he did that for you so much so well, yeah, you had him on the show and stuff. Why is it that no artist that you've shown their music has had an effect to break into the game? So you had touch with the game, but you've never brought an artist into the game with your media basically publicizing and marketing them. Now, the last thing I thought about is that people pay to get their stuff up there. They do. But was X really on his guard dealing with your character? Now, there's a lot of managers, and you're not the only manager, alleged manager. You said it was a lie. You said it. Alleged manager that was around him that was funny style. I see the funny style one. But the reason I said about Adam is because I truly, in my heart, feel, after understanding it, that with you going forward, doing what you did for others, that you're in a position even now to combat the very force that could have aligned themselves to take him down. Why do I say that? I say that because you've gained immensely in this game. You have. You're not the only one he inspired, but you are one of the only ones that continues to do what it is that honestly you did around the back door for him without even knowing you had the talent. So it seems people get that stimulation and motivation from X, but I just felt some sort of way because I'm like, dang, well, I get heat from a lot of big name YouTubers, but I surely thought out of all of them, someone that would have been fighting for justice for X more than me would have been Adam. I thought that. But that's the power of vulnerability. You see, he may feel his business is vulnerable for standing for something. That's why you get the czar. He may feel that there's vulnerabilities in relationships, but that's why you get the czar. See, he may feel that it's unnecessary. Oh, let the cops do their job. Is that the same thing you'd say if something happened to someone you care about? Your girlfriend or something? Would you say that same thing, or will you fight for it? That's when I begin thinking, like, how authentic are these friendships that are made in the industry? How authentic? I mean, I could have held you down. You held me down, but I held you down too, because I inspired you to do something you never did before. So how well is that? I mean, let's be honest. Diamond's Live holds him down more than you probably ever have. He really does, in his own way, but he does. But that's my issue. I'm thinking like he had strong relationship. DJ Academics, you were talking to him live. Now, I got something I want to say about that, but out of respect out of some respect, even though I lost all respect, I'm not going to mention it. But you still had conversations with them. You still did these things. Yet, I don't hear you talking about it. Every day you talked about Chicago. Every day. So for you to be on a fake name, or whoever, one of your butt suckers on a fake name saying something, it's a slap to the face to everything you stand for. Because Chicago, you were on them every day, and were people actually getting laid down off of it. So that's what I'm confused on. Really, people were getting laid down every day, and you already know I know. I hinted to you, I know. I gave you every sign you needed to know I know. But you were okay with that. But there's a problem with you speaking about justice. I was sitting back here thinking, these guys rack up the views. They can rack up the views, and off of what you do, get money because it's your talent. Yes. But when does authenticity begin? And instead of incorporating your foot on the neck of people and the power of vulnerability, you take your power and you build. You see, and that's how I know that you guys ain't really a part of what it is, of the culture you speak about every day. You don't build. All you do is look how you can destroy. You never build. And that's the biggest problem with you guys. Yeah, there's times to destroy, but there's times to build. And you don't seem to know the difference. No matter what, you just destroy. Even when you're helping someone, you destroy. You destroy their hopes and dreams. Let me do this. You destroy them. Whether you're vulnerable, you're verbally slandering them, and you're like, oh, he's vulnerable because I helped him. It seems like you guys always look for a moment to destroy, and all you built was your channel, was your pockets, and was any other thing that you could build except what needed built. So in my mind, you're the guy that everybody builds something up. You run in like, ta-da, because no one's around to combat you on what you do. Like almost like Looney Tunes. Funny, because I just mentioned Bugs Bunny. Like Looney Tunes. You really do. And I realize it. And that's why I know they won't respond. Because you know, even in me saying that, I know everything. And I'm not going into detail because the focus is justice for Ja. But I'm so shocked that the little things they did, the last thing that Adam did was go on a show saying I lied to be his manager. Who cares? Who cares? Really? Really? And shout out to Crooked Eye because he's official and that was his show. But my target is Adam. Like, it was your choice. That's the first time I heard you mention something helpful. Other than stepping up before that show. You just did it 2019. Where were you all of 2018? Where were you? Where were you the beginning of 2019? That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. DJ Academics, you could call him up to have him on a show to get views. You couldn't go through the works to actually figure out what's going on. Only thing we see is people getting bagged next to you, 6ix9ine. That's the only thing we have to talk about with you, other than something you say on an audience you already built off of talking about Chirac. Is that facts? What's wrong with you? So changing of the guard, like, you have to have your guard up to some level dealing with these people. You can't just trust them. That's the problem. And the thing is, the only reason I can't trust them, because I don't know who really cares and who's really being a culture vulture. Because they got the pulse of the culture around them, and they got a lot of people to see their music. That's the only thing I can tell. That's the craziest part to me. Yeah, everyone runs in respect, runs to say, oh, congratulations. Why isn't no one backing the fact that who really did this needs to be caught? That's when we get to the idea of an agenda. You see, it's not complicated. It's not, oh, he's just getting. It's that when people understand you know what you're saying, they get scared. So the first thing they do is try and say, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's crazy. He's this. No. And you know I'm the most sane because I just did a character profile of y'all. A while ago, I did a character profile. DJ Academics, I went directly at you when the Dom is Live thing happening. I did. I even went at Dom one time because of what he said to you. And I gave you support in that situation. I'm objective. But it still doesn't dead the narrative of exactly everything that has been going on, and the fact y'all been quiet because you feel it will make your power of vulnerability increase, just like the situation of X without the guards. That's simple. It's not rocket science. But you know how I rock. All rights reserved.